Welcome to AI Summaries, Dangers, and Ecosystems. I'm Sean Foster, and you're probably asking yourself, dangers? What dangers could there be to using AI summary tools? Well, probably the most common one of the three that I'm going to cover is that you could over-summarize. And what would be the consequence? Well, you would probably be missing key information or information in the details that would be really important for your process. The second potential issue is that you're using the wrong tools for summarizing, right? You could be getting a good, lengthy, wordy summary when actually a picture or a chart could be worth a lot more and people would get it instantly without having to read everything that the summary provided. And the third danger is that the piece or the process is actually the point. What do I mean by that? Well, I could ask the AI to summarize the famous book War and Peace by Leo Tolstoy into a haiku, and that's a summary. AI, do that for me, please.
Endless fields of war, peace sought in tangled life's path. Hearts clash, then settle.
Okay, and that's great, but there's a lot of details that are missed. And also the process and the point of reading a book like War and Peace is not always about the summary. You might get key information that you want to remember after the fact, but part of the process is actually enjoying and understanding the book. As more people use AI and get to 80% quality faster, just knowing the cliff notes on a subject won't serve your purpose. It's a lot like 3 words. Weight loss expectations is a good metaphor.
We can do this, Barnabas. I just have to lose 30 pounds in the next 8 hours.
So we've learned that even with a great summary, some things aren't instant. Information, even in summaries, needs to be engaged with and processed. Now, one final bonus before we move on to implementing some summaries is a key element to consider is that the information that you are feeding these AIs may or may not be private. So make sure you check the end user licensing agreements if this could be a concern. All right, so let's summarize this. The first thing to try is just to simply drop information into your AI and say, please give me a summary of. And if you're saying been there, done that, that's great, but you could still be missing out. How so? How could you make this even better? Well, the first thing that I would do is do some prompt engineering on the information. Now, I previously gave a full workshop on this, and I'll give you a link in the notes below to the 6-step process that can focus the AI to your needs. Now, in addition to that, the next few things I'm going to talk about is that there's some specialized tools and plugins that you could use in this ecosystem of summaries. Okay, so let's try out and show some prompt engineering with summaries. The first thing that you would want to do would be compare giving me a detailed summary to something like give me a concise summary. So let me quickly show one example of that. So here I am in ChatGPT, and I said, give me a summary of the Shakespeare play Henry IV. Now in this play, it gives a very 2-paragraph concise summary. And I didn't even say, give me a concise summary. Then I said, give me a detailed summary. And here we are, a lot about the characters. In terms of the one character that's very not concise would be Falstaff. You could ask about him. And that might be an additional way to start asking for summaries, is to go in and ask about the different characters. The key is going in and applying prompt engineering to further get depth out of the information that you might feel is key to where you want to go with it. Okay. So then the question you might ask next would be, are the summary tools different if you're in a meeting or in a class? Well, definitely I would say yes. I'm going to give you the names of some of these tools. Then I'm going to pull up their pages and tell you about the functionality of each. So there's Zoom AI Assistant, OtterBox, Read AI, and those 3 are for meetings. There's Notebook LM, which has multiple functionality. And there's also YouTube summary tools, which I use a lot. Let me switch over to their pages. So once you turn on Zoom AI Companion, what does it do? If you scroll down, you can see some of the functionality. One of the things it does that I really like is that it can look for and give you an overview and then also specific action items, which is really great. And of course, it also does a summarization of the meeting itself. This next one is Otter AI, and I'm sad that I've run out of my free 30-minute transcription. But what does it do beyond what Zoom does? It takes a transcript. It also takes screen captures during the presentation if somebody's presenting. And then it also has tabs up here. So there's a transcript and a summary with different action items and who's speaking. It's just such a wonderful tool set, but it does cost a little extra. All right, let's switch over to the next one. I've heard really great things about Read AI, and there's several videos online that are comparing the two, Otter AI and Read AI. Now, in a previous video, I will share a link. I went over how I've used in the past Notebook LM. I recently used it for a pretty complicated tech paper, and then I had it generate a podcast, which was pretty amazing, that brought it down to earth for someone who's a little bit less technical. Finally, we've got a bunch of different resources that I've looked into for YouTube summaries, because quite a few YouTube videos are amazing, but they're not always as concise as I might like, or I might want to start with a summary, see what's available, and then expand by watching the entire YouTube video. So there's a resource here, here's 8 resources here, and I've gone and used Glass for a while, which is pretty good. It plugs right into ChatGPT, and then with the click of a button, I get a summary. And then I also use Perplexity to pull up a list of different YouTube and other summarizers, which are great. Okay, so we're getting to the end of the presentation here. What's on the horizon? So one of the ones that I've been keeping my eyes on is an application called Granola. Now, this is where we're headed. How so? Well, Granola is an integrated system that has the ability to take notes while also working with the human user in a really great way. And so you can join the Windows waitlist if you're interested in this. They just received $20 million in funding. So very popular. Keep your eye on them. So beyond that, look for other ecosystems that are going to pop up that allow connections between summarization and iterative feedback between the user that's also very personalized and focus-oriented. It'll keep taking notes for you, and just keep checking. Keep your eye on Granola AI. Well, that'll wrap things up for this week's video. Thanks so much for watching. If you liked it, give it a like, and make sure you subscribe for more weekly AI educational content.